Hey everyone! In the DeFi space, you'll often see numbers that make you think, wow, is this for real? Today, we're diving deep into a platform called Gauss to uncover the mechanisms behind its astonishing promised returns. This number right here, 56.31%. And listen up, this isn't an annualized yield. Not even close. It's just 30 days of compound interest. So the question is, how is this even possible? How does a financial system achieve this? Rocket-like growth? Is it a genius design? Or does it hide massive risks? Alright, let's figure it out. Alright, to get to the bottom of this, we'll break it down step by step today. First, what exactly is the Gauss platform? Next, we'll dive into its core to examine the dual protocol engine and an intriguing feature called the throttler. Then, we'll look at its unique coin minting mechanism and how its reward system is structured. Finally, we'll explore the tax rules that keep the entire ecosystem running. Ready? Let's get started. Alright, let's start with the basics. What exactly is this Gauss platform? Simply put, its core concept isn't complicated. You can think of it as a venue for participating in automated market making. Its promise is straightforward: you deposit tokens of equal value, and then this platform acts like a robot working 24/7. Using its token-based plus gold-based dual protocol engine, it automatically handles market making for you to earn compound interest. And here's the key: all this happens on-chain. It's pure code running, fully automated, with no intermediaries involved. Alright, so how exactly does this money-making engine spin? Let's lift the hood and take a deep dive into its two most critical gears. Alright, let's examine our two core engines, the Gold Standard Engine and the Coin Standard Engine. Think of it this way: the Gold Standard Engine is the system's heart, providing sustained stability, while the Coin Standard Engine is the rocket fuel for value growth. Here, the coin-based engine corresponds to Gauss's platform token Gus. Its total supply is fixed at 21 million, ultimately deflating to 6.3 million through protocol mechanisms. So you see, one ensures stability while the other drives growth. Both are indispensable. So, what exactly happens behind the scenes when you deposit assets of equivalent value? It's actually a fully automated four-step process. Step 1. You deposit assets. The smart contract immediately splits your funds in half. One part is converted to USD, the other buys GUS. Next, it bundles these two tokens into an LP liquidity pool token, which you can think of as your deposit certificate. The crucial final step: this token is sent directly to an address locked by a black hole lock. What does this mean? It means the funds are permanently locked beyond human control. From this moment on, you start earning returns. Now, let's examine a particularly intriguing design feature: the throttle. Consider this: most projects desperately want as much capital as possible to flood in quickly. Gauss, however, does the opposite. It deliberately hits the brakes. This seems counterintuitive, right? Why would a protocol that clearly needs capital to grow deliberately slow down the inflow of funds? It sounds completely illogical. The answer lies in protecting everyone, especially retail investors like us. Here, we liken the throttle to a massive reservoir. When upstream floods surge, water first settles into the reservoir. Downstream flow is regulated by the reservoir's gates, ensuring a steady trickle, the very essence of the gold standard. This prevents large capital from crashing into shallow pools or manipulating the market. In essence, it trades controlled growth for the long-term stability and health of the entire system. Alright, we understand the speed limiter as a safety valve, but what drives the engine that creates new value within the system? This brings us to its coin minting mechanism. Think of the minting mechanism as the protocol's value engine. It doesn't print money arbitrarily but follows precise mathematical rules. Only users who participate in 30-day market making qualify to mint new GUS tokens proportionally. This ratio increases as the total liquidity pool grows. Deeper pools mean greater stability and higher minting quotas, incentivizing everyone to expand the pie together. The destination of these minted funds is even more ingeniously designed. First, 70% of the funds are immediately used to purchase GUS on the market, creating genuine buying pressure that directly drives price increases. Of the purchased GUS, 30% is automatically burned to achieve sustained deflation, while 70% flows back into the minting system. ensuring the perpetual cycle of value creation. Simultaneously, the remaining 30% of minting funds enters a reserve pool serving as the system's built-in stabilizer. Should extreme market volatility occur, for example, a single-day drop exceeding 10%, this pool automatically activates 10% of its funds to provide a floor, effectively cushioning downside risks. The entire mechanism is driven solely by mathematical rules and on-chain contracts, with growth stemming from structure rather than artificial speculation. Alright, we've covered the engine and minting mechanism. Now, let's address the question everyone cares about most: where does the money actually come from, and how is it distributed to each of us? Your actual returns depend entirely on how long you're willing to lock up your funds. If you choose just one day, the daily interest rate is 0.3%, but if you lock up for 15 days, the daily rate jumps to 0.7%. And if you opt for 30 days, the daily rate reaches a remarkable 1.5, compounded over time. This yields the figure we saw at the beginning, 56.313. So you see, the underlying logic is straightforward. The greater your long-term contribution to the system, the higher your returns. However, not all the profits you earn go directly into your pocket. Here's how it's distributed. 55% is your direct income, which belongs to you. The remaining 45% is reinvested into the entire ecosystem to reward the community and incentivize promoters. This design ensures every participant has motivation to grow the community, because only when the ecosystem thrives will everyone's long-term returns increase. Finally, let's examine the economic rules that sustain this system, essentially its tax mechanism. After all, any system aiming for long-term viability must generate its own revenue, right? The platform's self-sustaining function primarily comes from transaction taxes. Whether you buy or sell Gauss tokens, a 3% and 5% tax is levied respectively. A portion of this tax revenue flows directly back into the liquidity pool, deepening it and naturally stabilizing prices. Even more interesting is the profit tax. When you make a profit in the secondary market, the protocol collects a 15% tax on your gains. However, this money is then reinvested into various aspects of the ecosystem. This ensures that every transaction actually contributes to the long-term development of the entire system. So let's quickly recap the entire process. You stake your assets, the dual protocol engine converts your funds, the throttle controls the pace, the minting pool creates and solidifies value, the reward system handles distribution, and finally, the tax mechanism provides continuous momentum. This is a remarkably well-designed, tightly interconnected closed-loop system. Now, returning to our initial question, is the Gauss platform worth our participation? The answer is clear. Once we deeply understand the platform's value, we should commit wholeheartedly to jointly create a brighter future.